Welcome to Power Plays Network, where we decode the hidden strategies used by the world's most powerful people so you can use them to win in your own life. Every time the world burns, someone profits. When the people panic, the powerful plan. Welcome to the Shadow Game, the ancient strategy that elites still use to stay in control. And the darker the chaos, the stronger their grip becomes. In his influential book, 33 Strategies of War, author Robert Greene explores the timeless tactics used by those in power to manipulate the masses. One of the most fascinating and unsettling strategies he describes is called create a threatening environment. This isn't just about military conflict or battlefield maneuvers. It's about shaping the very atmosphere people live in, making them feel uncertain, anxious, and vulnerable. When chaos reigns and the world seems unpredictable, people instinctively search for someone to restore order, someone to protect them from the unknown. When people are afraid, they look for saviors. Fear is a powerful motivator. It clouds judgment, narrows focus, and makes people more willing to accept drastic solutions. In times of crisis, the public's desire for safety often outweighs their concern for freedom or truth. This is when the real power play begins. And the elite? They're happy to play that role. After creating the chaos themselves. Whether it's politicians, corporate leaders, or shadowy figures behind the scenes, those with influence know that a frightened population is easier to control. They step forward as the solution, offering stability and guidance, while quietly advancing their own interests. It's not a conspiracy. It's a strategy. The creation of chaos, followed by the promise of order, is a pattern that repeats throughout history. Leaders deny any manipulation, insisting they're only responding to events, but often the evidence suggests otherwise. The line between crisis and opportunity blurs for those at the top. Manufactured crisis gives them the power to rewrite laws, expand surveillance, control resources, and silence dissent. Under the guise of protecting the public, they introduce emergency measures that would never pass in calmer times. Freedoms are restricted, voices are suppressed, and the machinery of control grows stronger. They know, when the public is divided and distracted, arguing among themselves, they're not focused on who's really pulling the strings. The oldest power play is as effective now as it was centuries ago. Create chaos, offer order, and quietly tighten your grip on power while everyone else is looking the other way. Want to rule people without firing a single shot? Just pit them against each other. Left versus right, race wars, rich versus poor, pandemic vax wars. Every distraction weakens unity. Every division strengthens the top. While you're arguing with your neighbor, elites are rewriting your future behind closed doors. There's a 3-step playbook that the world's most powerful people have relied on for generations. It's a strategy that's been used time and time again by governments, corporations, and those who pull the strings behind the scenes. This method is ancient. Its roots stretch back to the earliest days of civilization. It's deceptively simple, almost elegant in its design. And, if we're being honest, it's frighteningly effective. Step 1. Manufacture a crisis. It could be a sudden economic collapse that wipes out savings overnight, a war that erupts seemingly out of nowhere, or chaos in the streets that leaves people desperate for order. Sometimes, the problem is invisible. A virus spreading through the air, hospitals overwhelmed, entire cities brought to a standstill by fear and uncertainty. Step 2. Provoke a reaction. The public is bombarded with images of disaster, panic spreads, and people begin to demand answers. Fear takes hold, and society becomes divided. Everyone's searching for someone to blame, or for someone to save them. The result? Widespread anxiety, confusion, and a population that's easier to control. People argue, communities fracture, and trust in each other erodes. Step 3. Present the solution. Leaders step forward with promises of safety and stability. Trust us, they say. Give us more authority, and we'll restore order. New laws are passed, new powers granted, all in the name of protection. But here's the catch. Once those freedoms are surrendered, they're almost never returned. The doors close, the rules tighten, and the people who asked for help find themselves with fewer rights than before. Think about the Patriot Act after 9/11, emergency powers that were supposed to be temporary, but lingered for years. Or the sweeping restrictions during the COVID pandemic, when entire cities fell silent under lockdown. Or look at the push for digital currencies after banking crises, sold as a way to keep your money safe, but also a way to track every transaction you make. Each so-called solution chips away at personal freedom, all while being packaged as protection. The cycle repeats, and with every turn, the balance of power shifts further away from the people. In chaos, truth dies. In fear, logic shuts down. And in crisis, control is handed over. But the ultra-elite? Well, they don't panic. They plan. They buy gold, land, tech, and companies while the world is distracted. Just look at billionaires' wealth during COVID. It surged by trillions. Sure, oh why? Small businesses vanished. Coincidence or design? Your attention is the most valuable weapon, and the elite use media to shape your reality. Fear headlines, algorithm-controlled feeds, censorship of dissent. When they control the narrative, they control the people. The modern war isn't fought with bombs, it's fought with information. So how do you survive the shadow game? In a world where chaos can erupt at any moment, on the streets, in the markets, or even in your own workplace, knowing how to navigate uncertainty is a true superpower. The shadow game isn't just about surviving. It's about learning to thrive when others are losing their grip. Better yet, how do you win it? The answer lies in mastering your emotions and sharpening your strategy. When everyone else is scrambling, you have the opportunity to rise above the noise and see the bigger picture. Step 1. Never panic when others do. When the world seems to be falling apart, your calmness becomes your greatest asset. Take a deep breath, ground yourself, and remember that panic clouds judgment. The ability to remain composed is what separates leaders from followers. Power is lost in fear. When you let fear take over, you surrender your ability to think clearly and act decisively. Instead, observe the situation, assess your options, and keep your emotions in check. Step 2. While others react, you prepare. Preparation is your secret weapon. While the crowd is distracted by panic, use that time to gather information, make plans, and position yourself for what comes next. Quiet preparation often leads to loud results. Step 3. Use chaos to position yourself, financially, mentally, socially. Times of upheaval create rare opportunities. While others retreat, you can advance. Invest in yourself, build new connections, and look for openings that only appear when the world is off balance. Power flows to those who can stay calm in the storm and make moves while others freeze. Remember, the greatest leaders and innovators are forged in times of uncertainty. When you master the art of thriving in chaos, you don't just survive the shadow game, you win it. The shadow game is real, it's ancient, and it's still being played, on screens, in headlines, in every crisis that grips the world. But the people who win, they don't play the victim. They study the game. They understand the rules. And then, they flip the board. If you found power in this message, subscribe to Power Plays Network. Because in a world built on manipulation, knowledge is your only defense.